Hey dudes, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys some of my most recent knife purchases. Now, I have a problem. I have an addiction. I'm well aware of it, and I'm trying to manage it. And so far I'm doing a pretty good job, I spend more money on knives than maybe a normal person would, obviously. But I'm able to balance it with my bills and things I need to pay for. I'm not broke yet, so I'm managing the addiction. But um, it's just a fact that most people would say I spend too much money on knives in general. But it is what it is. You guys know how it is. Um, I love collecting knives. So let's check out some of my most recent purchases. Now, keep in mind, I sold a few knives, some scales, some other knife stuff recently to be able to afford some new ones. So I'm not like super balling out here. I did sell some stuff to be able to bring some new stuff in. And it was just stuff that was really just sitting around and um, didn't really need to have in the collection anymore because of redundancy, or it was just old and uninteresting to me. I do that occasionally. I've been trying to really sell less knives and just kind of build up the collection even more. But sometimes I do, periodically I will clean out some things that are old and bring in some new. So let's check out what I have bought recently. Let's talk about, let's talk about the Kaiser drop bear first of all. So, this one has been in my pocket for the last week or so. I've committed to carrying this knife for 30 days straight because I want to do a long-term review on it. I want to test it out. I'm going to carry it at work for 30 days straight, use it for all my cutting tasks, and report back to you guys. And so far, I mean, it's only been a week, but I'm really just loving this knife. It's such a good work knife because it's super duper easy to manipulate one-handed. Um, the clutch lock here is absolutely amazing. Just one of the, if not the best crossbar lock I've ever tried. It's just so smooth. The action is so good, and with zero blade play, and I mean zero. This thing is locked up absolutely solid. I added some gold thumb studs that are available on the Kaiser site. They have different colors too. And I put on one of their titanium deep carry clips just to kind of spice it up a little bit since I'm carrying it for a month. The blade shape has been really useful. It's thin enough to be slicey, a nice low tip for utility cuts, and not only functionally, but I think this thing looks great. It's very fun to open and close. It's fidgety. And, that's kind of what I look for partly in a knife that I'm going to carry for work. I want it to be useful primarily, but if I can get a very useful knife, but that is also fidgety, that's a win-win, man. And this knife does it. 154 cm blade steel. The edge seems to be holding up pretty well. I've stropped it a few times, but it strops back quickly. Amazingly comfortable in the hand, just like melts into your hand. Jimping all the way up to the swedge. Nice long jimping. Really, really liking the drop bear. All right, next we have this little guy, the CIVI McKenna in copper and Damascus. This knife, ever since I got to try one out about a year ago, I told myself when this version became available again, I would buy one because I absolutely loved it. And it became available, and I bought one. It was only $80, surprisingly, for what you're getting. From GP Knives, you could check and see if they're still there. In fact, if they are, I will link it below. This is sort of an aged, tumbled copper. It seems like they probably darkened it and then threw it in the tumbler. Gives it a really cool finish. Some milling lines in there. Full copper backspacer, stainless steel liners. Same on the other side, and then I added the CIVI titanium clip onto this guy instead of the one that it came with, which really just classed up the knife even more. Raindrop Damascus. This is the thinnest behind the edge knife in my entire collection. It's around 12 thousandths. Super slicey. The front flipper is one of the easiest I've ever tried. The jimping wraps around the top, so you barely put your finger on it. It grips you, pull your finger back, and the blade is just popping out. Super, super easy. The little triangle cutout is mostly aesthetically there. I can kind of get a finger in there for the reverse flick, but it's really not meant for that. Sometimes I can even get friction off of just the kind of putting the skin of my finger on the blade there, getting a reverse flick. But I mean, the front flipper is just fantastic on this thing. I got it because, number one, it's a really good utility cutter, very slicey with this sort of sheep's foot blade. But also, it's an Elijah Isham design, who is a really cool designer, just did amazing work. He has since passed away, and I really wanted one of his knives in the collection. And I think this is a good one to have. There are others of his designs that I would love to have eventually. This one's just an affordable one that just looks really, really amazing. So that's the CIVI McKenna. All right, next, a little guy. This is the Spyderco McBee. And if you're familiar with the channel, I've been buying a lot of mini knives in the past few months. I've been trying to find the perfect fifth pocket carry. Fifth pocket is that tiny little pocket that's in behind your regular pocket in most pairs of pants and jeans. I wanted just a small backup knife to fit right in that pocket. And, I bought the baby banter, the mini bag lighter, mini sheepdog, couple slip joints. And this, I think, is the ultimate backup knife or fifth pocket carry. It's very small. You can see compared to my hand here. Full titanium construction. It's just made so well. It's made in the Taichung, Taiwan Spyderco plant, and they do this really amazing reflective stonewash finish on the blade. I mean, it is just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You can see the Jonathan McNeese logo there on the other side. He's the one that designed this. CTS XHP blade steel, and they have this kind of stippling on the pivots, on the lock bar kind of chamfer, and on the lock bar relief cut. It's very classy. There's stonewash titanium for the scales. I've said this a few times now, the amount of awesomeness per square inch on this guy is just off the charts. It is such a cool little package here. Frame lock, you can kind of flick it with your thumb if you hold it right. I haven't been able to reverse flick this, but best way is like that, or just the stool roll. This is just it's a razor blade it's a fancy razor blade with the handle, pretty much. Pinch grip, amazing. You kind of pinch it, and then with these two fingers back here, grip the handle. Or you can pinch it, put your pointer finger up here. They have a nice area right here for you to put pressure down into the tip. This is just a really excellent knife, and I'm very happy to have it. The Spyderco McBee. All right, now the most recent purchases. The Devo Knives Mash. Excellent, excellent, excellent knife here. I was very surprised. Well, I don't want to say surprised because it sounds like I was expecting it to be bad, but I was pleasantly surprised to see how well tuned this detent was and how smooth the action was. I got to try out the prototypes of this knife, and the detents were a bit weaker on those, so I was really hoping this detent would be stronger, and it is perfect. If it was any stronger, it might be even too strong, but it is absolutely perfect. It's a reverse flicker or thumb flicker only, using the cutout, no flipper tabs or thumb studs to get in your way. Really kind of clean handled design where there's no choil, finger choil. You can just kind of choke all the way up here. Very roomy. You could choke up very, very far. You could choke up kind of far. You can hold it back here. Really, really comfortable handle. It's an inset liner lock. You can see right there. Just a really beautiful knife. This rides the line between premium and budget, with premium sort of handle and then a more mid-range for the blade steel, which is 14C28N. And that enables them to bring the price down to around $135. And I think this is a steal for what you're getting. Or a steal for the price, I mean. Hollow grind, it's 15 thousandths behind the edge, which is very thin. Whoopsie. Did I? No, I didn't hurt the edge. Cool. So, it's just awesome. These sold out in 5 minutes. So, if you didn't get one, that sucks. But they are going to be dropping another round or another run in the coming months. So, be on the lookout for it. It comes in this version, also a black washed blade, same handle, or a reverse tux is what they call it. Wire clip, but you can also get a lynch clip for it if that's not your thing. Look how smooth this is. I mean, gosh. It was really smooth right out of the box, but it's only getting smoother. Just crazy, man. Devo knives mash. Love it. And lastly, the ProTech Malibu, the button lock of all button locks. This is a PVK Vegas exclusive. It's all blacked out with 3V steel. This is the best button lock I've ever tried. Hands down. Easy decision there. It's just fantastic. This flipper tab, the detent they have dialed in on this thing to perfection. It's honestly one of the best flippers I've ever tried in general. Not even a button. If we're talking about button lock flippers, one of the best in general, which is saying a lot for a button lock. Usually these things can get mushy. This is not. This is the opposite of mushy. It is crisp as hell. The coating they have on this is very interesting. This is an aluminum handle, but this coating, I've never felt anything really like it. This is aluminum as well on the drop bear, but it's smooth. It's a lot smoother. This stuff, it almost has a texture to it. It's very odd. I can't figure out what it is, but I really like it. I don't know if you can tell over the camera, but in person it also looks a little different. It almost has something. There's almost a texture to it. I don't know. I can't figure it out. But it's a mess. It's blah, 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 blah. Can't even talk. It's amazing. DLC coated blade. Feels reasonably thin at the edge. Not super thin. They call this a reverse Tonto. I would say it's more of a sheep's foot, but whatever. Flush button with the surface of the scale. Just incredible. No branding anywhere. Just on the spine it says ProTech CPM 3V. And that's all you need, baby. Excellent knife. I'm very glad to finally have a Malibu. And there you go. These are my 5 most recent knife purchases. And hope you guys enjoyed checking them out. If you haven't subscribed already, just go ahead and do it right now. Follow me on Instagram at duties_daggers as well. And consider becoming a channel member if you want to. There's different perks and things that you'll get. But if you don't want to or can't, just like the video and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what knives that you have purchased recently and are really liking or not liking. And let's chat. Thanks for watching, folks. I love ya very much. Adios.